About 83% of you guys are not subscribed. Subscribing, clicking that like button, and commenting all help me out a lot in doing what I really want to do. Thank you guys so much for all your support. What is going on, guys? Rogue TCG here, bringing another Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG deck profile. You all voted for it. Here I am responding. Here is evilswarm. This deck is very interesting. It's a deck that has not gotten support for a very long time. The most recent support they have gotten is this card, Steel Swarm Origin. And do you want to guess what set this card came out in? What year it came out in? The most recent evilswarm support card. So the last evilswarm support card came in Extreme Force. This is when Origin released, was Extreme Force. That was 2018. It has been 6 years since evilswarm has gotten new support cards. That is longer than the time between evilswarm's printing between when it was last relevant in Dragon Ruler format and when they printed the Link monster. So yeah, it's an archetype that has not gotten any support anywhere close to recently, but let's see what we can do with it. So now bringing evilswarm. So what I'm hoping the deck can do is make Ophion. Ophion says when this card is Xyz material, level 5 or higher monsters cannot be special summoned. Period. Once returning, you can attach one Xyz material to add an infestation spell trap from your deck to your hand. So the point of the deck is to just make Ophion and sit on it. The main thing you're going to be adding is Infestation Pandemic, which can protect your Ophion from spells and traps, making it unaffected. So the whole point is to put 2 evilswarms on field to make, or evilswarms rather, to make an Ophion. Because of new cards, we actually can make the Origin, which is not a bad card. But before I go into each of these individual cards, I think Ophion I did have to go into because it is our actual win condition. Let's actually get into the card by card. Starting off, we're on triple Evilswarm Heliotrope. It's a 1950 normal monster. It's a normal monster. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's a fucking vanilla. We do kind of have to play it though, because it is one of the highest statted evilswarms, as well as it being a free extender with unexpected die. We're on triple copy of Evilswarm at Castor. During the turn it was normal summon. We can normal summon one evilswarm monster in addition to your normal summon or set. We can only gain that effect once per turn. Just a really good card. And one other evilswarm is just an Ophion, so really great, and it doesn't activate that effect to get that additional normal summon either. We're on one Evilswarm Thunderbird. This card's funny. It can basically tag out quick effect whenever a card or effect is activated, kind of like SP but just for itself. So it's just like a card that's always going to be somewhat around, and it's an evilswarm, so it's just a way we can always kind of maintain a free-floating resource in the loop. We're on double Evilswarm Mandragora. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. Good when we're going second, so we can make our pretty much only one of 2 good going second cards. And then we are lastly on 2 Evilswarm Kyrkion. We're only playing 2 because it does require setup in order to be beneficial. We can use each effective Evilswarm Kyrkion once per turn. When this card is in the graveyard, if it was sent out this turn, you can normal summon one evilswarm monster for 1 less tribute. We don't have any tribute monsters, so not very relevant. We can banish one evilswarm monster from our graveyard, target one evilswarm monster in our graveyard, add that target to our hand, then this card gains the following effect. This turn we can activate this effect to normal summon one evilswarm monster. So this is very good if we have exactly 2 evilswarms in graveyard and this card's on field, and our opponent doesn't have interactions somehow. We activate the effect, banish the bad one, add the good one, and then normal summon that good one to then make Ophion. We are also on 1 reinforcement of the army because Castor is a warrior, so really great way to add that, like one of the best cards in the entire deck to straight from deck to hand. Really great. Now we went over Pandemic. It's a searchable card. Same with Infestation Terminus. Target one evilswarm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls. Banish the first target, so we're banishing our card to bounce the other 2 to hand. Bouncing to hand for a banish isn't necessarily the best trade-off, but if we're bouncing extra deck monsters, it's functionally the same thing as putting back to deck. That is it for our evilswarm cards. We're not running too many, but we are running a lot of cards to try and support them, namely 3 copies of Into the Brains. This is a way we can turn one evilswarm into a free origin if we wanted to go more of that route. It also helps float if our origin dies. We can grab a feed back from graveyard, which is none of our main deck cards because the evilswarms all hate each other. So the only cards you can really grab back are your extra deck guys, but sometimes that is enough. We are also on Triple Pot of Prosperity to find the very few good cards in the deck, as well as one Called by the Grave because our opponent hand traps them. God bless their heart. We're praying that they do not hand trap us because our deck barely functions even without getting hand trapped. We are also on Triple Nibiru the Primal Being because we can't play into boards like at all, and Triple Infinite Impermanence because it's good going first and going second. We are on Double Different Dimension Ground because none of our cards really explicitly say Graveyard except for Kirkion, and we can just kind of like choose to ignore that and just treat it as a level 4 normal monster. And this will frequently hurt our opponent a lot more than it'll hurt us because our deck isn't strong. And we are on Double Crackdown in order to steal cards out of our opponents before they can use them as material. Namely like a Light Fiend monster that we can just steal before they even have the opportunity to make the Link 1 Fiendsmith. We're on Triple Judgment and Triple Strike to round out the list. Just the Solemn Brigade, you know, the works. In our extra, we are on some funky cards. We are on one Bujinki Ahashima. This is a way we can special summon an evilswarm from our evilswarm from our graveyard, and special summon an evilswarm from our hand, and then immediately XC summon. And it's a way to get rid of back row when things are XC summoned to Blink Point. We are able to make SP Little Knight because we are playing XCs in the deck. Does it make the deck good? No, it does not. It does not help this deck enough because that means you're going to be giving up a card that is our win condition, like Ophion or something else, to make an SP Little Knight, which is not a win condition. I guess it might be a win condition against some decks. Maybe like against our deck, it's a win condition. Funny enough. And then lastly, we are on one Steelstorm Origin. This is what we're going to be using for Link into the Brains, as well as we can also link into the Brains for SP Little Knight to make it unrespondable to, which is really great for SP Wars. Origin reads, it needs 2 evilswarms when this card's in the extra monster zone. If a monster would be special summoned from the extra deck to the main monster zone and must be summoned to the zone this card points to. I believe this is reciprocal for our opponent as well, so it does make them play in its column as well. While this card points to a monster, neither player can target it with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when a monster on field is destroyed by battle or card effect, we can special summon level 4 or lower evilswarm monsters from our deck in defense position up to the number destroyed. This works very, very well with some cards in archetype, like Exciton Knight. It works very well with. That's it. Unfortunately, Exciton is the only real in-archetype way to just like wipe the full board, really. And via destruction specifically, like Zeus will send them all, but it doesn't destroy. And since it doesn't destroy, it'll also send the origin. So a little bit unfortunate there. Well, Exciton will not destroy the origin since it'll be in the column. Or rather, it will be in the column. It'll just be also pointing to it. We're on one Evilswarm Nightmare, being able to flip down special summon monsters. One Abyss Dweller, because we are a rank 4 strategy, so this can be made. One Steelswarm Roach. During either player's turn, when a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, we can attach a material to negate the summon and destroy it. It's like a bad Ophion. Instead of just preventing it, we can negate it. But this is generic, so if we do, I don't know, if they give us a level 4 monster, we can make it like that. I don't know. We're on one Evilswarm Exciton Knight. If our opponent is winning the game, we can try to make it so they're not. If they have more cards in hand and on field than us, we can, once per chain, detach material to destroy all other cards on field, and your opponent takes no further damage that turn. Still just an insane card even now. It's just Zeus at home for 2 4s. This is its archetype, so it is canon. Woohoo! We're on one Raiders Knight, which does go with an Arc Rebellion. This deck does PP poo-poo damage, and Arc Rebellion can sometimes maybe just win the game out of nowhere, so we are playing it because we are an entirely dark archetype, pretty much. We're on one Plan B because this deck will really have to rely on it. One evilswarm Bahamut. This is a way to discard an evilswarm and then permanently steal a monster our opponent controls. Doesn't even negate the effect, so really great stuff. And then we are on 2 evilswarm Ophion, the main win con. Again, it's a floodgate. It floodgates against Fiendsmith. It floodgates against Snake Eye. It just floodgates against Bestials even. It's just an incredibly strong card in this current format. And I believe it can actually just straight up win games by itself if your opponent is not ready. We're on 1 Sky Crisis Typhon because if we need to really rely on a crutch, we can rely on Sky Crisis, and then 1 Zeus since we are an XC-centric deck. Our side deck, nothing special, triple D-Shifter, triple Ghost Ogre, 2 Lightning Storm, triple Raigeki. We're trying to side deck cards that can trigger Origin just to be really cute. So I just decided I think this would be funny. Lightning Storm actually doesn't work with Origin, so little bit of a non-bow there, but Lightning Storm is probably good regardless. The 3rd, Different Dimension Ground, and triple Evenly Matched. Let me give you my final thoughts on the deck. I think this deck is very funny. I think it's a very funny deck. I feel like it's very funny that the fact that this deck from 2013, 2014 actually can stand a chance in today's meta because of how the meta kind of has shaken up to be is incredibly funny, and it is pure comedy. And I really hope I see people out in the wild running around with evilswarm because it is in fact very based. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Bye bye. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you wanted to talk to more Yu-Gi-Oh players like yourself, I would highly recommend checking out our Discord server. Link is going to be in the description, as well as the QR code on screen. We do talk somewhat frequently about Yu-Gi-Oh and the current meta, so I would really enjoy to see you there. As well as we do recently now have channel memberships available on our YouTube channel, where we have 3 different tiers. We have Super Supporter at $2 a month, where you get loyalty badges, emojis, guaranteed comment responses, a shout out at the end of every video, as well as access to the members only Discord channel, where you get early sneak peeks at future videos. There is the Giga Supporter at $5 a month, where you have early access to all new videos about a day or 2 before they go up, as well as all the previous offers. And for $15 a month, we do have our final tier, which is going to be Femboy Fanatic. You get a guaranteed customized video every single month, as well as 1 hour of my time. Could be for anything you'd like. You want a duel? Absolutely. You want me to help build a deck? Absolutely. You want to play some Helldivers? Sure. I'll do anything for an hour once a month. But supporting does help me out quite a lot, and it does help me produce all of these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing y'all later. Bye-bye.